Hello, everyone. I am Alex.
Hi, I'm Mariella.
And we are here to talk about the energy that is coming down the line for April 2024. I imagine we don't have to say much to you if you have found us because you are searching. It's already been a lot. This eclipse
Mm,
season has been a lot. Lots of,
Yeah,
a lot, like very abundant and very asking for growth. I'm loving it, and it's a lot.
it has been a lot.
Yeah.
So, what has been happening for you, Alex? What do you feel about the energy that has been around in the last month, maybe?
Yeah.
Wow.
I find it's what's interesting is like when some people are just like not affected by it, but I feel like most people around me when I'm like watching their experience and what they're doing, it's like just a very fast-paced energy. Like there's just like I keep using the word a lot, but or the term a lot, and everybody's really busy or they have more than one thing that they're working on. Maybe it's different side jobs or different passions and hobbies. Just their energy is split in many ways. And um, and boundaries. Oh dear Lord, boundaries. Whether it's boundaries with time, boundaries with communication, boundaries with like people, boundaries within yourself, like just boundaries, boundaries. And so I'm noticing like a lot of people are like some people are being refaced with like really old patterns that maybe the patterns are still quite toxic for them, and so they're needing to face those parts of themselves, which is new, or they're getting to see it in a new way. So like a lot of the folks that I work with, I feel like they're experiencing like so much and they're handling it in stride, but um when you re-hit a pattern, you can feel like a failure because you're kind of being tested again. And you want something different, but it can be really hard to do the different thing. Um, so I noticed that in a lot of people, but um, yeah, and so I guess it maybe depends on where people are at. But I know in myself, like there's this continuous conversation of having compassion for myself as I meet new pieces that arise. And it's not that they're new pieces, but just have more awareness of different pieces. And so I am needing to have more boundaries and I am needing to have more compassion for myself because anger, patience is low. And I don't know if that's everybody or it's like fire signs or what. Because when I think of like Aries energy and now we have Mercury retrograde and like Mars, I think is in Aries or Mercury or something, that fiery communication is definitely showing up in my life. I've raised
Because
my
we're
voice.
in Aries season right now, right?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
all about Aries.
Yeah. It's a very fiery feeling for sure. I know that's what I've been noticing around me. How about you?
Yes. You know me.
But let everybody else hear a little bit more.
Yeah, I've seen many people go through a lot of things like you're saying. People are busy with things. It's like almost the universe is um showing us how much like how much in our plate can feel
Mm,
and pushing our limits to
yeah.
see, like, do you want this type of life? Do you
Mm,
like it? Are you comfortable with this?
nice. Yes.
Do you feel like that? It's like, and we were talking before, it's almost like people are trying or pushed to find their balance in life. And so you were asking me one day about that.
Mhm.
So what's What's the balance? Like what you have been feeling this way. Now, what's the middle ground? What do
Hmm.
you want?
Yeah.
Because I have been very busy too, and pushing my limits with what you were talking, like those boundaries. I used to be like really in control of um the amount of things that were happening in my life or what I chose to deal with. And I used to feel that I was calm because I was in control.
Mm.
And so now that I have, or I feel that I have so much, and I know that's almost in my head because I remember, right now I'm studying my master's degree. And when Amber was about 5 or 6, I completed my bachelor's degree. And I did have a family at that time, and I worked at that time. And now I have a family and I worked as well. But I asked my husband about this because I feel like overwhelmed. And I have, I'm not like that.
Mhm.
It's not me. And so I asked him, like, what is different this time? Why was I so like fine before? And now it's different. And so I can come up with lots of logical reasons, but in my head, I'm because Pluto is around, right? Pluto is doing that revolutionary energy in our lives as well at this time.
Mhm.
And so it has to push people to change. And so even though the situation was different years ago with almost the same things happening, now is a time where I need to consider what I want, look at my limitations, like right in front of me, and decide like where do I want to go from here. And I think that is the energy for the world, right?
Yeah.
Because we are ending a period of time where it's Capricorn, right? That was
Mm.
ruling.
Yeah.
And so now we're moving into Aquarius.
Yes.
And it's just that totally different energy.
Yes.
And having that feeling of freedom, kind of, that Uranus, it's Uranus, right? Aquarius,
Yeah.
sorry.
Aquarius,
Yeah,
yeah. But yeah,
it's
and
bring
Uranus is like Uranus and Aquarius are their planets, yeah.
yes. Okay. And so, yeah, it's so different. And I felt so comfortable with Capricorn, because that's my sun sign.
Mm.
I'm like really happy with it. And now I have to change my mindset into this new thing.
Mm.
I'm like, I'm struggling. I want some freedom. I don't like the ways that were before, like all the rules and this is this way and the hierarchical way and the paternalistic way. And yeah, I feel uncomfortable with that. I want to change, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to change. This is not comfortable.
Yeah. I think I just want to say, Mariella, like you're blowing my mind right now because I feel like you're putting words to things because not that I forgot that we're in Aquarius, like in this new 20-year Aquarius and Pluto thing, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like so much in the forefront of me thinking about how the time has changed because we're right at the beginning of it. And so this is where it's going to feel extra uncomfortable because it's so completely new because Capricorn, although is very expansive, because it can reach places that no one's ever reached before, right? It has
That's right.
capacity because you can work so hard and get these places. Um,
Yeah.
but that being said, it is that like you said, time and structure. And now it's just like everything's moving so fast. And it's like there's so many things. And like, where is the structure? Where is the higher
Yes.
rules and
Where
forms?
is my structure? I want my structure.
We were supposed to have already learned how to do that in the last one.
No, but you know what comes to my mind when you're saying those things? You know how Capricorn is represented by the goat that is climbing the mountain, right?
The
And
sea
that's
goat.
how it gets to the peak. The
Yeah,
what?
a sea goat. So it also has a
The
tail, so it can
seagull.
like,
Yes. Because it could go in the water, but they like to go up, 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 up
yeah, they can climb
to the
high.
sky.
They're hardworking.
Yes. And so, yeah, with that, with hard work, do we want that?
Mm. Well, the question is what like putting effort in is one thing, right? Like putting
Yes.
energy is one thing, but like slogging through, like doing what we have to do or what we're supposed to do, that's
Yeah.
breaking down. So I'm like
Yes.
so blessed. I have a job that I like and allows me to kind of be who I am in many ways, even though it's getting intense. And then I have other things that are going on the side that allow me to still be my weird self. But when I look at some of my friends who are like really struggling and negative, like I was speaking to you beforehand, it's like when people are stuck in those careers that they are unhappy with, like you're going to feel it. If you're unhappy with something, you're going to feel it. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel this time, very uncomfortably so.
Yeah. And you know what else I have been seeing around me? And I don't know if it's just me, but the families I'm working with right now, they are at this breakthrough moment,
Mm,
like realizing things and then starting to move to another way. And I'm like, that's what's in home supports should look like, right? You want people to change from this to this. And it doesn't always happen. But at this time, at least the people that are working with me right now, they're like going from being disorganized and being stuck with a diagnosis into, oh, I realized this thing. I am going to do this. And then doing it and changing things. I'm like, what? You're
yeah.
doing it? Wow. And kids that were struggling with school and the way they think and with emotions and sensitivities, they're finding a way to um, feel more balanced. And I don't know if I am correct, but maybe because children are more in that young side where they don't have their mind already structured in a way, they
Mm,
might be more flexible in the changes or feeling with more clarity. And
mm.
so I'm thinking maybe some of the children that are coming in the next generations or that are growing right now, growing up, maybe they're moving into the new world easier. But I don't know.
Well, I've
That's
heard of I don't know if it's called the honey badger generation or if a friend of mine is just calling it the honey badger generation. But there's reference to this younger generation, like the young kids who are in elementary school right now, kind of thing.
yeah,
And that because of COVID, they're very much struggling in many ways. And but I'm also wondering if it's because like COVID ended the Capricorn time, right? And you think that peak of Pluto
that's right.
Capricorn and the amount of structure and force that the governments in the world put on us during that time, right? So like Pluto, it was like that last. ditch effort to show structure and control in an unhealthy way, maybe. And of course, all the politics that have been going on. But so now there's I've been hearing a lot of that the younger generation is like, well, what's the point? Now, the little ones don't understand that yet. But if their parents are feeling like, what's the point? Because they feel like they don't, like, no matter how hard you work, you're never going to be able to afford your home. No matter how hard you work, you're never going to get a job that you want. You're not going to be able
Yeah.
to be happy to have vacation. You can barely afford to survive, you know? So it's like, what's the point? And
Yeah,
so,
there must be a better way.
yeah, so I feel like although I hear so much about these younger generations being more chaotic and less, and sometimes mental health, but there's a product of our current generation. But they are going to be ones that help us understand more the direction we need to go, right? Because they were literally shaped by COVID times, and that whatever was very unhealthy for a lot of folks, for everybody. But like now they have to be forced in a new way to open up and change. Like we're all the adults are having to go through the change and we're experiencing chaos and they are chaotic. And it's like, well, we gotta
They're
go.
like they are the explorers, the adventurers. So whatever they do, it's creates change, right? That's
Mhm,
the nature of having children. They always um bring a piece of change into the parent's life.
mhm,
And I think, yeah, I've seen that like around. And no, parents have to change as well.
mhm. Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like parents feel like more chaotic than ever because of how their kids are, but how life is. And it's like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and you know that they were talking about the reset rate. Remember? We talked about this last time.
Yeah. Oh,
And so they were thinking that maybe like internet or something electrical was going to happen where there would be like 3 days
hmm,
of darkness or 3 days without internet or something like that.
right.
And that was for the lunar eclipse, right? Or maybe for the solar. I'm not sure because they are talking about the solar flares that could interrupt communication, stuff like that.
Hmm.
But and we were going to report on that, remember?
Right. Yeah.
Hasn't happened.
No, it hasn't happened. But you know what is interesting? And I
What?
know because, the 3 days of darkness. And although I know I've heard it in reference to the book of Revelations, but in terms of the the 3 days of darkness, the lunar eclipse, all that happened on Easter, around Easter.
Oh, really?
And Jesus died and he rose
Oh, yes,
3
yes.
days later kind of thing. So I was
After
like,
three
oh,
days. Yes.
yeah. So I'm like, oh, is there any resemblance there? Probably not. But there's lots of talk about this solar eclipse because like the last time was like in the 1700s, that it was, I don't know if it was because it was this aligned of how it is, like the perfect alignment or how long it is actually
Yes.
exactly, but there's a lot of talk about this solar eclipse
And that is happening on Monday,
on Monday. Yes.
April the 8th.
Hmm.
Yeah, the I was visiting a family yesterday and the boys were so excited about it because we're going to see 60% of it here in Calgary. You're going to see it fully, right?
100%. Yes.
So, and they are saying that those places that are going to get the energy of the shadow, right?
Mhm.
They're going to have bigger changes than the rest. And so, one thing that I heard that we can check later as well is that it's this solar eclipse is going to affect the government of Canada, the
Mm,
prime minister, because it's, I think, in their birth house or something.
mm,
And it's also going to affect Ottawa.
mm.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I sent this to you. I sent something to you, and so it's this video, and it talks about how we understand there is truth in where our attention goes, energy flows, right? And so this eclipse, for some reason, is getting like so much, at least in North America here, is getting so much talk about it. And so everybody's putting their attention in one place. And so if we all align our attention, like, yes, to this place, and everybody's really excited and like curious, interested, whatever the word is. So all this attention is going to happen at a peak time, and that this could be supportive in the evolution of consciousness. I'm like,
Just,
I'm game. Let's do it. I'm gonna
yeah,
tell
did you
everybody
see
I
the
know.
light changing
I
when you
did.
were talking?
Yes. Like, oh no, are we gonna lose power or something? But so I feel like this is a really positive, like, although it's supposed to feel chaotic or there might be big changes that take place, I think this is like a an important an important moment for change in the positive direction. But we're all looking up, and they say it's like the perfect balance of the masculine and feminine, um, because it's like the light and the sun, like the earth and the moon and the sun and everything are like
Yeah.
literally coming together. And so there's like this like harmony that will take place. It's like a really beautiful, pivotal moment. And I've just never heard it talked about that way. Thank you, social media. But it's like, wow. So April 8th, and it falls in um the north node of Aries, which is the energy of I am. And it's not just like I am from a egotistical standpoint. It's the literal like I am. Like I am the conscious awareness, the creative, the expansive, the highest self of being, that I am place. And it's asking us to kind of turn to that more. But to turn to that, we have to see the shadow.
Yeah,
So,
it goes with that, with the phrase, or the mantra, who am I, right? Who
ooh,
am I? And you know, it goes with the solar plexus because it's the sun.
oh, I
Yeah,
love
it
that.
makes total sense. Who
Hmm.
am I?
Yeah.
What are my boundaries?
Hmm. Yeah. Yep.
How much do I let in? How much do I give?
I'm just gonna write this down. I'm sorry. Wow. Okay.
It's the power in you, right? That's the sun.
Yeah. And the new moon is literally considered the first day of the new year, because it is the first moon of the full awakening of the Aries energy, like the darkness,
Yeah,
the light. So it's a brand new moment.
yeah. And also I've heard, that energy of Mars being rebellious and wanting to change and doing their own thing, being independent and just doing whatever you want. And so with the question who I am is also, well, it goes with the lower chakras as well. Like, what do I want from there? And Mars can be very energetic and passionate, but also the if you know people that have that sign Aries, like my mom that probably will watch this, they what I admire of the Aries people is that they live in the moment. They're not, and my mom always tells me this, Mariela, why are you thinking so much in the past and the future? Just let it go. It's past. It's
Mm,
already the past. Let it go. And she just, if she wants to do something, she just does it, comes back. She wants this, that. And it doesn't matter what others are doing. Like, what do you want?
mhm.
She just does it. She lives in there, in the present,
That's
most
so
of the time.
that's so interesting when you describe um, that Aries energy. I know another female who has that Aries energy, but the two males that I know, wait, the
Mm, they
three,
are different.
they're different.
Yes.
They have a very emotional side,
Yeah.
but they feel more stuck. Like they're more of the stubborn, like they have more of the like
Yes.
they'll
Yes.
try new things and do new things, but they get more stuck. Whereas
They can be
women like
stubborn
to,
for sure.
like burst through. Maybe because
Yeah.
maybe women, and this is, yes, me generalizing, but maybe women like push through with emotion, whereas men
Mm, mm.
aren't as connected to the emotion, so maybe it traps a little bit more. So I don't know. That's fascinating.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Any other Aries people, please make comments in the comment section because I would love to know more about how this is feeling for you and how you would describe yourself in terms of the stereotypical Aries energy. Because yeah,
Hmm.
it's powerful, initiating, creative. It's the beginning. It's bringing something into form, right? It's literally the first house of the zodiac. So we're going
Yeah.
from 12th, which is like the unconscious and like pre-birth to birth. So this is like the rebirth with a
Yeah.
soul right on the Anyway, I'm very excited.
Yeah. And so the sun enters Taurus on April 19th.
Mm,
So the Aries time will end there. And then we start with Taurus.
hmm
And then, of course, happens what you and I were talking about before. Jupiter in Taurus conjunct Uranus in Taurus.
hmm
And that's on April 20th. And so we're very excited about it, right?
Yeah. And we're not even excited in like, oh, there's gonna be great change and like the system's gonna fall apart. Remember when we
We
used to be
should, right?
remember we used to think about,
And it is about that also.
yes, but it's more about the expansiveness of the
Yes.
possibility.
Yes.
So yes, there will be change, but it's going to be expansive,
Yes.
a
It's going to be
positive way.
big.
Yeah. So things will just start because that
Yeah.
Jupiter is the expansive energy and Uranus is transformation.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, it'll be so exciting that energy. So it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting to go from this like deep letting go of the March um lunar eclipse and this like awakening of this new energy. Like we had to let go, we have to grapple with all this crap so that we can step forward into this new expansive capacity. What else have you heard about it? Tell me.
I just have heard that it's going to bring a lot of blessings for everyone. It's going to be like this happy moment.
Mm, Yay.
And I think, remember I said before, don't know when, but I think was Pam Gregory who said, or I think everybody agrees with this. Past April, starting May, the worst of the year 2024 would have passed. So this conjunction with Jupiter and Uranus, it's almost
Mm.
like you the ending of one hard time in this year, because there would be other hard times in the following years, but at least for this year, the worst would have been done. And so then we get a little bit of a break. But
Mm.
also changes still happen, right? They will continue to happen because we are moving into this new era.
Yeah. Gosh, Mariella, I hope anybody who's watching this, I hope you know how insightful this woman is, putting pieces together in really interesting ways. Because yes, like I remember always everybody talking about 2024 going to be the end of this hard time with Taurian energy. 2024, things are going to get better. Or it's going to be different, but better. But then we keep hearing about now 2026 and of course like the and all these other years and I'm like, I thought they said it was going to end.
2029, 2030, and this other year that I don't remember that will have like 6 eclipses in one year.
So it's like, but it's true. They have been saying this for so long, and now the astrologers are like, this is like a pinnacle month, a very pinnacle transformational month
Yeah,
for the world, and it's all aligning within Taurus, and that is the where we there was a like the beginning of like in during COVID is when we had the a big Taurian alignment, like everything was in Taurus, which is resources, wealth, security.
yeah. And remember we had that interruption with the uh, supply chain
Yes. Yeah. Like COVID
with
caused
Taurus.
like
It's
everything.
like,
Okay.
yeah, because Taurus is like about food, agriculture,
Hmm.
and all those like transporting goods from one place to another.
Hmm.
Probably there was some Mercury stuff going on at the same time with communication.
Uh,
But we are on Mercury retrograde as well right now, right?
mhm,
And they are talking about how the food industry should change as well, right? And so one is about the prices because, as you said before, people are not able to afford what they could for their families
mhm,
because of the prices. And it's just crazy. And so some people are saying we need to do something about this
mhm,
because it's not changing and we cannot afford to eat. So
mhm.
what's coming next?
Yeah.
So that would be interesting.
You
And the
know,
way they grow food as well.
so true. Yeah. I'm loving seeing how the more people are speaking up, for example, about what's going on in Palestine, change is starting there. Like change is actually taking place. Governments are finally starting to back up the belief and idea that genocide is taking place. And governments are finally saying something. And like it's taken long enough, but enough people have been like pushing and pushing and making their voices heard. And I think it's like that demonstration to the whole world that like if you really believe like, and something is not okay. Our voices are important. And like, so when I think of that I am energy, and because right now it's like I am energy and we are, as we're moving into this Aquarian, everybody all together, humans. And so it's like showing us the power that we have when we come together. And so if things get not so crazy, continue to get not so crazy around our basic needs, we're going to revolt. We are going to say something. We are going to demand things be different, and we will have to shift. And that's like where we are, and it's so exciting. But this Taurian Jupiter Uranus is supposed to be a blessing. Blessing times or good things are arising.
Yeah, we're birthing, right? That's the uncomfortable part.
Yes.
But it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. Some babies come to the world without
Well,
being.
it's okay for there to be some discomfort. It's just how we
Yeah,
navigate, not dwelling on it. And
yeah,
then when the baby's here, then there's a whole new learning curve.
yeah.
Whole new learning curve.
That's right.
So Mariella, so Mary and Ella and I, we as we were talking about each of the energies of the eclipse, and new moon, and then the Jupiter and Uranus, we pulled some cards that symbolize those energetic times to kind of give a bit more information and connection to that, using cards. And so, Mariella, are you open to us starting with the new moon and solar eclipse? Well,
Okay, this is going to blow your mind.
okay, go.
So
Blow our minds.
the first card I got, well, yeah, for the solar eclipse, because I got cards for the solar eclipse on April 8th, and I got another bunch of cards for April the 20th, where the conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus is going to happen.
Mhm.
And so for the solar eclipse, I got Hathor, soul family. And she has the the sun in the middle. Like it's on top of her head. You
Mhm.
see?
Yeah.
And sorry it's not so clear my video, but she has her hands here in her, it's almost like between her heart chakra and her solar
Mm,
plexus. It's in between. So we were talking about the I am power, and then the heart power, right? That's the power within us that guides us for our power to be
mhm.
used. And so behind her, she has ancestors. And I don't know, I don't think it's very clear on the video. And
Okay.
so there's like a man and a woman and other people here in the back. So it's about the soul family, right? But when I was looking at what it says on the little book that comes with the cards, it says that the ancient Egyptians for over 3,000 years were venerating this goddess Hathor. Do you know Hathor? Have you heard of her before?
I don't know.
No. Her temples were full of dancing, music, and pleasure. Her symbols are the sun and the moon.
Mm.
Can you believe that? Right on the eclipse?
Yeah.
She's a lioness, a winged cow, a sycamore tree, and a rattle. Oh, the rattle is used in celebrations. And so that's the energy. And of course we know that because the solar eclipse is here. But it's about the soul connection and receiving love from a parent, friend, or group, and joining dancing, singing, and music. So it's almost like this very nice, comfortable energy getting together with others. And then I got the chariot,
Mhm.
like, and it's interesting because, sometimes the sun is in like this chariot that is moving with fire.
Mm, mhm.
and we're advancing, right? That's what the chariot is, right?
Yeah.
And then blessing on your family.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about family. And then the pig, it says be aware of greed.
Okay.
The little piggy in there.
I know, I'm like, why is
Piggies also
that?
are very friendly.
Well, they're close to humans, right? Like they're
Yeah.
genetically close to humans.
Yeah.
But beware of greed. Why is the pig greedy?
I don't think the pig is greedy. It's just a symbol. But I do feel like um there will be some testing about around greed.
Well, I think that's kind of happening with like how we talk about food and stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
only certain people now are making like enormous amounts of money on the basic needs of others. That's extreme greed that's taking place, but yeah.
And some of that probably is ending. Because the pigs are so cute and they're so nice and friendly. They're like little doggies.
So I wonder because like when I think of like because I it looks like it's just one pig, right?
Yeah.
In that image. One thing I kind of thought I had seen at first was like its arm or whatever it is, or a piece of it looks like it's like a little baby, like maybe that's there going to be suckling on its mom or something. And so,
Mm-hmm.
when all of the little piglets are suckling on the mum, like only the stronger ones get to the nipple, the weak ones
Mm,
don't. And so, um, we aren't animals. I hate when people say, "Yeah, but we're really like animals and instinctual." It's like, yes, and we have a level of consciousness that we can actually transcend and make choices. Um, so that scarcity mindset that creates greed, right? That fear of not having enough
yeah.
and stamping out the smaller people because they don't, Anyway, so that just kind of arises when I think of that. And yeah, pushing out the little guy so you can get the milk. All the
Mm-hmm.
little guys, all the little guys.
Biologically, we are animals, right?
I think we're
All
aliens.
the nature is connected. All nature is us as well.
Yes. Yes. So the one I pulled for the solar
Yeah.
eclipse is
Oh, choices,
Seven of Cups.
opportunities.
Yeah. So it has like yeah, what I find fascinating is like I'm seeing like water flow through. I'm seeing the snake, like snakes and ladders,
Yes.
kind of like the game of snakes and ladders. So there's all these little ladders, which is fascinating. It says, when you daydream your way into the future, the options you have in front of you can feel both under and overwhelming. The path from A to Z is often nebulous and can present itself like a game of chutes and ladders that brings you down only to lift you up. Your desire to choose the one correct and perfect path can further complicate and muddle your decision because there is no way to know everything that will spill forth of the cup you choose. So use your intuition to decide, remembering that the temptation of shiny things can be illusory, while challenging
Mm.
paths will often hold unexpected opportunities. Ask your discerning heart what options honestly stand in front of you today. And even if things are not exactly as they seem, choosing that which you truly desire will offer the most useful stepping stone right now. So it invites my wildest imagination is a tool that I can use to inform my future in a down to earth way. Yeah. So we have choices and recognizing. Um, like that overwhelm, so many things. And I was like, yeah, that sounds fair.
Yeah, it's almost like what we were talking about before, like having so much around, right? And they
Mhm.
look beautiful and
Yeah.
they look like bright and shiny and sparkly. But
Yeah.
how much can you take? Is it like all important?
Mm. Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
what
what's
came
the
to
most
my mind.
important? Yeah, that
And
idea.
then the snake, it looks like the snake is half snake,
Mm.
right?
She has the cards there as well. I
It's
think she's looking at the image right now.
yeah, I'm trying to find mine so that I can look at it better and from a
She's really good with the
better
symbolism.
position. Yeah,
And these cards are really wonderfully done. It's the
yeah,
like Tarot. They have um yeah, like the facial expressions on the people and the images. So like there's like a bat wing and a snake and water and
okay.
like an outlined castle. And yeah, all the bowls are different. And so it's just kind of fascinating, like where do you go and what choice do you make? But ultimately, you don't know where you're going to go. So that's like
No,
adapting and going with the flow of possibility and aligning to your intuition and your heart to move
that's
forward.
perfect.
Hmm. Yeah,
There's a little castle there too that is imaginary. It's just an illusion on the side. Do you see it?
saw that. Yeah, yeah.
It's almost like an eighth one, but it's
Hmm.
not real.
Hmm.
It's almost like you have all these little houses that are part of the community, and then you have an imaginary castle on the side. Probably you're like, oh, I would like that, but I have these.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Fascinating.
it's all in the head, right? It looks like the guy is floating there.
So, what did you pull for? So, we have the solar eclipse
Yeah,
energy. And again, everybody, please that day really tune into your gratitude for what you have, tune into your wishes for the world and for yourself. Like, really tune into that energy and what you want to bring forward into the world. It's not about asking for everything you want and desire, like material. I mean, you can, but the idea is what would be best for everyone, the liberation of everyone, and the love of everyone. So sticking to like gratitude and like blessings and wishes. That's
yeah.
what I think.
And it should
But
be like a habit, right?
a what?
I was thinking of this, a habit.
Yeah.
So I
Hmm.
was thinking of this the other day, like 2 days ago. I went for a walk and I'm like, oh, I haven't been doing my um thankful exercise I used to do.
Mm.
I used to listen to this video every morning and what's her name? Remember the well, it will come back. But is that video where the person who's speaking, she says, thank the couch, thank like
Oh,
for being able to for you to sit on it.
yeah.
Like be thankful that you have running water, you have hot water that
Mm.
even kings and queens didn't have in their time.
Yeah.
Like how special that is. And we are thinking, oh, I don't have these, I don't have these, I don't have these. But actually, you do have so much.
Hmm.
And so I was going through the walk and like, oh, thank you for the sun, thank you for the snow. And I'm like, this should be something that we should do every once in a while,
Every
something
day. No,
regular.
every day.
Hmm.
So,
Ready?
yeah,
So I got Ogma.
April 20th.
Do
Okay.
you know Ogma?
No, I do not. He looks like
So
he's like, okay, go on.
he's thinking. He's really good at communicating.
Hmm.
And I think it is around Jupiter and Uranus going together on April 20th. Around that time, also, Mercury is going to move forward. But the warning from this card is to be careful with your words. So watch your words. And they can be so powerful, hey.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yes.
can be motivational, but it can also destroy. Like, oh, we were talking yesterday with a family about um you would have a lot of feedback, for example, from for somebody that does group facilitation, you get all this feedback at the end of group, right?
Mm.
And so you get like 20 feedback pieces where they say, oh, how beautiful and exciting and enjoyable the group was. And there's this one person that destroys the person who's facilitating. And what do we think about it? Like, we do not think about the 20 good feedbacks we got. We just linger in the one.
Mhm.
How am I going to be better? Because this one person said this, and this.
Mhm.
All right. So also, like, what do you want to take from other people's words?
Yeah, that's
Right. And then I got blessing on a friendship.
oh, nice.
And it will be a lot about relationships.
Mm.
There's the Six of Pentacles. I've heard that many people will be in a situation where they can give more in some way. So probably people will learn how to give or what they can give to others. So
Nice.
that would be exciting.
Mhm.
Recognizing our own blessings, right? And then bread, period of prosperity and abundance.
Ah,
That's
bread.
a piece of bread.
Fascinating. Those are weird cards. What card deck is
And
that
it
again?
has
That's the
flour in the back.
leaf ones? That's your tea
These
leaf.
ones are the tea leaves,
Such a weird deck.
but I love it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so going back to Taurus, right?
mhm.
Jupiter in Taurus
Mhm.
and Uranus in Taurus, and then bread and flour coming. So
Abundant.
abundance. But
Mm.
I'm just like trying to figure out what does that mean. I think it's something that will come later that we don't know
Abundance?
about. Huh?
The abundance?
Yeah, but there's like this card that makes me feel like something related to food around that time can happen,
Hopefully, maybe.
but I can't see
I know
what.
starting March 1st, there's a big thing going around trying to get people to boycott Loblaws because
Mm-hmm.
they're having record profit. And it's like, oh, you're having record profit, yet you keep raising the prices.
And
Maybe
we
we,
can't afford to leave
yeah.
or
So
eat. So
I wonder if there's layers of that, or maybe something will shift, like, what will happen?
yeah, yeah, this energy of giving back, right?
Mhm.
You having, but being able to give. And that thing of beware of greed too.
Well, it's about balance. Mhm.
We
It's
knew
about
that.
fairness and balance. The keeper of
Yes,
scales.
furnace.
So I pulled this for our uh, conjunction that the near the end.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the law of harmony is enacted when the keeper of the scales comes to you as an ally, because it did show up as an ally. Align with her as the law states, making conscious choices that create balance in your life. When you do, you also magically align with the abundance of the universe and the powerful sources of synchronicity. This creates conditions and possibilities that lead to the fulfillment of your highest intentions. Harmony begins with yourself and then resonates outwards. When you are in harmony with yourself, when you nurture yourself with love, respect, and acceptance, always taking full responsibility for your actions, only then can you be in harmony with others. This is because love is the central force that connects us all, connects all of life, and aligns you with like minded others. Restoration, of the positive, fair resolution. Um, yeah. So it kind of takes some of those cards you just pulled and actually linked them all together.
Yes.
The six, like when you have enough, you can give more. And then the idea of the abundance. And what was the other card? What was that gentleman? He was
The
communicating.
Ogma.
Yeah. It was communication, right?
Ogma.
Agma.
Hmm.
Or that person, whatever he was. They were. Um, yeah, and taking responsibility. Interesting.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. What do you say to yourself? That's Ogma too.
Oh, right, right. And that's that if you're holding love for yourself. I'm like, I don't know. What am I saying to myself?
What do you say in your head, Alex? What are you saying?
But one thing I want to just share quickly, Marielle, and hear your comment on before we close. Um, I've been hearing, how so much is going on inside of us, and really we are projecting the world out to around us. And so when we can view the world and use it as a reflection as within for our work. And so it's interesting because as I feel like I'm starting to take more responsibility for myself and trying to, like, I talked to my counselor about like some of my reactiveness and anger and like trying to find out, like, before it gets to be too much, how can I bring more awareness to how I'm communicating about how I'm feeling and stuff like that? Anyway,
Mhm.
and so I feel like as I actually develop more awareness of myself, I am watching the world around me have more awareness of itself. I don't know if that's
Ah,
true. I don't know if that's true or if I'm only seeing
I'm
what
not there yet. Wait for me.
I'm waiting. I'm gonna pull you along, girl. Um, so I don't know. I'm seeing the world reflected and I'm just like, wow, it's very fascinating. And it's like, because I can relate to everything. Oh, that, yes, I'm going through that right now. Or, yes, how is that showing up in my life? How can I make sure that I have awareness of this in my own life? And as I'm building those pieces of awareness in myself, I'm like, oh, wow, that just got reflected outside of me. Exciting. So I don't know what's real or not real, but I don't know how you feel about
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know what to say. What
that.
is real and what is not real? Like this past month has showed me that so much is just in my head.
Mm, hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when are you done the course? Like, I know not your whole course, but this one module you're in?
Um,
Said 3 more
I
weeks, I think.
think on the third Sunday of April.
So just in time for the conjunction.
Yeah. Uh, exactly.
Hmm.
Then the sun comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, I'm so sorry I keep yawning. I had some pizza for breakfast. I think it's
That's
slowing me
why.
down. It's yeah.
Yeah. And like so many people are starting to eat more in their own houses. They're starting to cook more and not going out. Have you noticed?
No,
No.
not in my world. My world, everybody's still eating out a lot. But in my personal world, I am still
Hmm.
eating out a lot as well. Like, I'm still eating just, like, more convenient foods, like,
Mm.
I'll buy a chicken, I'll buy salads, like,
Hmm.
things like that. We had pizza at work yesterday, so that's why I had pizza.
Mm.
But,
Nice. I think I'm going to have pizza today.
um, so I wonder um, if my situation changed and I started cooking more, would I see more people cooking at home?
Oh, that's interesting.
Hmm,
I would like to know what happens or what you find if you change that part of you. That's
mhm,
very interesting.
mhm, and I get a new roommate soon.
Oh,
Life will be changing.
ooh, that's the blessing on a relationship or
I hope
on a
so.
friendship. And
Yeah.
that's the relationship that's bringing you that energy from Jupiter and Uranus.
Mm, yes. Yeah. Um, it's exciting times this month. I mean, it's been
Hmm.
feeling this way all year so far.
So exciting.
So exciting. And this month for me, I have every weekend I have something booked.
Mm.
Building my business, supporting other people's businesses in some ways, and it's just like a lot. It's a lot, and I'm excited. Maybe
Yeah.
the chariot. Oh, the chariot. My car broke down, and so
Oh,
I had to pay lots of money yesterday to get it fixed. So maybe the chariot, and then the abundance later.
yeah. That
Yeah.
is the exact thing
Mhm.
that's happening.
Mm. Well, Mariella,
Okay.
I'm so glad. So Mariella woke up super early so we could do this because her life is very, very busy. So
Mhm.
thank you so much
Mhm.
for carving out this time so we could talk about this super powerful month that is coming forward.
Yeah. Yeah. You're lucky. You won't see me for a while again.
Truth. Not for a few more weeks.
For a few more weeks. Right on time for the next big conjunction, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
It always happens naturally.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us who
Yeah,
did.
thank you.
Blessings on your month.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.